In this video, we're going to look at the nervous control of respiration. And there's two sections in the brainstem that are associated with control of the respiration. First is going to be the medulla oblongata. So there's a respiratory center in there. And there's going to be two different sections. The dorsal respiratory group, if you can see in this picture, is going down to the diaphragm, which is main muscle of inspiration, and going down to your external intercostals. Your ventral respiratory group is going down to accessory respiratory muscles, like your internal intercostals and abdominal muscles and other things. So your dorsal respiratory group is going to be inhalation. Your ventral respiratory is going to be like if it's needed. So more active is going to be your dorsal respiratory group. So you carry impulses over the phrenic, which is going to the diaphragm. That's the phrenic nerve. And intercostal nerves going to the external intercostals. So the medulla is going to control rhythm of respiration. And when these nerves are firing, then the inspiratory muscles of the diaphragm and the external intercostals are going to contract in about 2 seconds. Once the nerves stop sending their impulse, then that's going to be expiration, because remember, it's a passive thing where those muscles are just relaxing. So there's nothing contracting in a normal expiration. It's just the diaphragm and the external intercostals are relaxing to their original position, and then you get contraction again. So again, we have two centers that are going to do the pace of respiration. And can coordinate the respiratory muscles. Again, you have the dorsal respiratory group and the ventral respiratory group. The dorsal respiratory group is inspiration. So that's again going to be your major one, the one that's more active. It's the inspiratory center. That again is going to control the neurons to the inspiratory muscles. So it's going to go through the intercostal nerves and the phrenic nerve. This dorsal respiratory group can change inspiration kind of rhythm based on some receptors that we have throughout our body. And we'll talk about baroreceptors and chemoreceptors in upcoming videos. Baroreceptors are detecting blood pressure, which is going to change the rhythm of respiration. And chemoreceptors respond to pH, oxygen, and carbon dioxide levels in the blood. That's going to change kind of the rhythm and inspiration of your lungs as well. The ventral respiratory group is in expiration. And now when this is only getting active when you need expiration. So this can increase breathing demands because you want to increase expiration, and also gets involved with those accessory respiratory muscles. So when you need something extra than just the normal rhythm, then you're going to get the ventral respiratory group involved. So expiration, ventral respiratory group; inspiration, dorsal respiratory group, both in the medulla oblongata. Then you have two centers in the pons that are associated with and work with the medulla as well. You have the pneumotaxic center in the pons that's going to promote exhalation. So if you have less nerve transmission, so decreased output, then you're actually going to increase the depth. So the medulla is talking about kind of the rhythm. The pons is looking more at the depth of kind of breathing. So if you have less input from the pneumotaxic center, then you're going to increase the depth of respiration. So what's that mean is you're going to have a kind of bigger breath in, so more, and you have kind of longer breaths in, so deeper breaths. Think of it that way, deeper breaths. If you increase the output of pneumotoxic center from the pons, the medulla, and this is again associating with your inspiration, this is going to shorten inhalation. So you're actually going to have shallower breaths because you have less time for inhalation. So you're going to have less airflow in. So you have shallower breaths. Your apneustic center is long inspiration and actually inhibits expiration. So it is also going to again work with the dorsal respiratory group. So you can look at kind of the pneumotoxic center has kind of when it's active, when you look at it's active, then it's going to kind of impact the dorsal respiratory group where it's making it shallower. So it's going to change it that way. Apneustic center is just going to make it so you have long inspiration and you're going to hold your breath. So apneustic is just kind of holding your breath and inhibiting exhalation. So you're going to promote inhalation by the dorsal respiratory group because that's where inhalation is occurring. So pneumotaxic is going to, if it is firing, cause shallower breaths. Apneustic center is going to be really, really, really deep breaths and holding it.